Alright, boys. What up? I want to talk about something. Okay? And I want your opinion. I want your guys' opinion, alright? So, I was dating this girl, right? And we were talking for about 2 to 3 months. She told me she has BPD, right? So, she gets depressed. She needs reassurance. She needs this and that and that and that. And I was like, I've been with crazy girls before. I'm down with it, right? Okay, whatever. You know? You need reassurance. You need support, mental support. Okay. I tried to be that pillar for her. I tried. But when she would go into her BPD episodes, that's where things just, I couldn't handle it. Because she's the type of girl that would push everybody away. She's highly irritable. She's really depressed. Doesn't want to be talked to. Okay. But tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Tell me that. She didn't tell me that. So Sunday, so it was on a Sunday. I have a long night at work. I was working. I had an impulsive text because she didn't talk to me the entire day. Didn't tell me shit that was going on. Alright? Didn't tell me she was going through her BPD episodes. Didn't tell me she wanted to be left alone. Didn't tell me she wasn't talking to anyone that whole day. Not even her mother, not her best friend. Okay? Didn't talk to anyone. So I sent her a bit of an impulsive text. She snaps at me. Snaps at me like I'm not supposed to be feeling a little bit insecure. That I'm not supposed to be feeling a little bit abandoned and left behind because she don't want to message me the whole day, right? When her and I would talk for hours and hours and hours on end beforehand, it was casual for us to have a 6-hour phone call. You get what I'm saying? We would be on the phone, our longer phone calls, we would be on the phone for 24 hours, maybe longer than that, until I had to go to work. So you could see why I was a bit thrown off when she snapped at me about it, right? So I was a bit thrown off. Okay, she's got BPD, she's different, she needs space, but communicate that to me. Communicate that to me. If I don't know you're going through a BP episode, how am I supposed to, accept you snapping at me when you're not telling me what's going on? This girl was great, bro. She was great. She was a great woman. I think she could handle a relationship pretty well, but her biggest problem was communicating what the fuck was going on with her. You know? Had she told me prior that, hey, I can see that my BPD's coming in, I need time alone, I need you to leave me the fuck alone for a while, I would have had a different reaction. If she told me she wasn't going to be talking to her mother, to her best friend at all, she wasn't going to be talking to anyone, she was just going to be bed rotting. That's what she told me she was going to do. Well, after she snapped at me, she told me that's what she was doing the whole day, right? So after that, I was like, I'm sorry. I owned up from my shitty response and reaction, initial, and I left her alone that entire week, on and off. Maybe nudge a little bit because she would play games. I would talk in her live stream chats, just a little bit. Ask her if it was okay to be there. Anyway, so I got over that week. I had to tell her how I felt, of course, that I didn't like it, that it sucked, that it felt shitty, because you go from hanging out with someone for constantly hours and hours and hours to barely at all for a week. She calls me. We start calling again, not nearly as much as we used to. Couple hours, 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours. What was like tame for us before it was our longest phone call. We stopped hanging out together in person a lot. Where before she was cool with it. Obviously, we had to talk about this. I was okay with that. And time kept going on, right? I kept trying, you know? I'm someone who also needs reassurance. I'm someone who's also protective. I'm someone who's also a bit obsessive over my woman if I actually love her, you know? Um, you know, which, depending on some girls, it's a red flag. Some girls, it's a green flag. Some girls like it. Some girls like to be the center of attention always. Some like the attention for a little while, and then they don't want it that much, right? Because they're attention seeking and satiated, right? So anyway, everything is going okay. It's going smoothly because I'm bottling it up inside a little bit, and you know, she had events coming up in her life. Her birthday, for example. I got her gifts. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to feel happy. So I tried not to be negative at all. I tried not to tell her any of my thoughts that I had going on. It wasn't resentment, just problems I had in here, you know. And I'm going through depression. I was going through depression, man. I was. And the whole time, I didn't realize this until after the relationship. We broke up, of course. That's why I'm making this little personal talk video or whatever. After we broke up, I didn't realize for the past 2 months, I was constantly anxious. Constantly anxious. The entire time I was with her, talking to her. I don't know why exactly I was anxious, but I was. I was anxious in my sleep. I've never experienced that. I mean, the only time I ever experienced that in my life was actual fear and anxiety on top of the fear from what my childhood was like. But that was it. This girl gave me a whole new type of anxiety I didn't know existed. And I was dealing with it for 2 months and I wasn't aware of it. You know? It wasn't until the night that I broke up with her and I slept that night that I woke up and I was like, I felt the weight that was off my shoulders while I was asleep. And when I woke up, I could feel the weight was off of me. And I was like, I was in awe. I was flabbergasted. I was like, I was anxious that entire time. I was like, fuck. I made the right move for me. Not for her, but for me, I made the right move. Anyway, so let me tell you about the buildup that happened, okay? And I guess you could call this a boundary, but it's a bit of a personal rule. I think with any special relationship with anyone, this is a general rule case, you know? Anyway, we had a phone call. It was going good, man. We were having a good time. It was a good time, you know? I offered to buy her breakfast because she was talking about how she was broke and she didn't have fucking money. So I was like, I'll send her $12. I sent her $12. She sent it right back. And I got a little bit offended. As a man, I want to provide. Just a little bit, right? I want to provide a little bit, okay? She's got this whole thing about being independent. Why are you with the fucking man then? Why are you even entertaining a relationship? You want to be all, I'm independent woman. You know? So I saw it as a cute thing, not as a serious thing. I should have seen it as a serious thing. But, hey. Anyway, I get a little offended. My mood goes down. I got depression at this point. So, yeah, I get a little bit depressed. I get a little moody. So, I gave her a response she didn't like. We talked about it. Her mood also went down in the moment. Because she's a very with the vibe person, you know? If I'm down, she's down. If she's happy, I'm happy. If I'm happy, she's happy. Right? So, my mood goes down. Her mood goes down. We talk about it. We talk it out. I tell her I'm going to forget it. It's all good. I don't care. I'll let it go. And I let it go. 10, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, I was texting her telling her I'm a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for getting moody. Sorry for getting depressed. Sorry for being a dick. Basically, right? Tell me if it was okay for this woman to leave me MIA after she told me she was going to be okay. After she told me on the phone that she was going to be okay and she was not going to have problems with, she was going to be over it. She told me that. She told me she would be fine. Tell me why she leaves me MIA for the rest of the day. The rest of the day. I didn't know she was experiencing a reoccurring of her BPD episode. I didn't know that. She didn't say that. She didn't say she wanted to be left alone. She didn't say she was going through that. She didn't say it. So imagine my surprise, right? When, what was I supposed to think? She left me undelivered, didn't respond to my message at all, didn't respond to my text, none of that shit. She was on her phone. She could have looked at it. She could have at least told me to leave her alone, right? Okay. So she plays with her mom on stream. No one's in there, so I'm like, okay, it's okay if I send a message, see how she's doing. So I asked her to check my messages. She acted like she was fine. She acted like she was chill, calm, happy at some points, rage quitting from the game. But she didn't say if she would look at my messages, and she didn't respond to that text or that chat of me asking her to look at her messages. Check them at least, please. Right? No. Leaves me MIA the rest of the fucking night. Rest of the fucking night. All night. So I get in my feels, man. And I was, it was thunderstorm, but I still had to go outside, take a walk, have like 2-3 cigarettes, maybe 4. And I was thinking, was it fucking worth it, bro? Because being ignored without being told that you're going through something, for me, especially if it's someone I care about, someone I want to communicate with these problems with, and I want to try and get over these issues with, for me, it's like the greatest form of disrespect, because I want to communicate. I want to work shit out. But if you can't even tell me to leave you alone for that day, how am I supposed to understand that? If you can't communicate and tell me to leave you alone. So the next day comes. I go through my shit. I relapsed. I cut again. I haven't cut since 2023. Okay, so 3 years. I cut. I was in my feels. I was depressed. I didn't tell her that. I wasn't going to tell her that shit. Right? Anyway, she finally responds to me later in the morning, the next day. Says she's upset when she said she was fine the day before. So it was pretty obvious she was upset after she ignored me the whole fucking day. I try to figure she was busy, because she's usually a pretty busy girl. Then told me she was upset, and then it all kind of just blew up in my face. I have BPD. I was like, yeah, but you should at least be fucking communicating that you want me to leave you alone, that you're going through an episode. At least. I'm someone you talk to on a daily, regular basis. Like, am I not at least entitled for you to tell me to leave you alone? At least before you actually spiral and go MIA, go ghost. Like, damn, bro. And then you expect me to be okay with it and then take the blame for everything that happened, with that little fight we had. So naturally, I had already had the night before. In my head, I was asking myself, is this shit fucking worth it? Am I really willing to put up with this? And after she snapped at me in the morning, I just told myself, no, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my energy. It's not worth my happiness. It's not fucking worth it. Because that's a sign that was like it's disrespectful to ignore someone that you're talking to and not communicate if you're really trying to work things out with them. Don't be selfish, is what I'm trying to say. Don't be selfish to anyone you have a love interest with and that person mutually has that same love interest to you back. Don't be selfish. Communicate. If you need to be left alone for a couple hours, communicate that shit. Rest of the day, the week, I don't give a fuck. Communicate it. Say it. Otherwise, what am I supposed to do? I try to be a pillar, but I guess my pillar had cracks in it. And it gave under the pressure. You know? I can't be the man that woman needs, and that woman cannot be the woman I need. You know? Couldn't be. Wouldn't have worked out. She's already got enough shit to worry about in her life. She don't need a fucking man to worry about. She's got to worry about herself and her kid. She has a kid, by the way. I should have seen that as a big ass fucking red flag. Anyway. Yeah. Am I in the wrong? Honestly. Was I in the wrong for leaving her? For giving up? Because I loved her. You know, she tried to step at me about me not opening up. That's one thing she brought up in our last argument. That I wasn't opening up. No, I was just going through depression and trying to leave you alone. I was trying to. You know? I was trying to be reasonable. And it's like, if you want me to open up, you want me to open up my fucking soul. I don't want you snapping at me when you're asking me to open up. You know what I'm saying? I have only ever truly opened up to one person in my life, and that was my best friend. And to this day, he's the only man in this world who has ever seen me cry. Ever. The only other one was my brother. And that was a different moment and conversation entirely. But when I opened up to my best friend, he was the only one I ever cried in front of. Ever. To this day, I have never cried in front of someone. You know? So it's not easy for me to open up what's in my heart, what I'm feeling, what I'm actually going through inside. It's not that I'm avoidant. It's just hard to open up. You know? It's hard. It's not easy. But I will. I will open up. I just have to trust that you won't judge me. You know? Anyway, again, the question that I hope a response for is, am I in the wrong? Is there something I didn't understand about BPD? Is there something I didn't understand about her? Does she expect me to read her mind? Not really. She told me what was wrong with her, and I tried to understand it. I have to see it to believe it kind of guy. So when I saw the behavior, that's when it fully registered in my head. You know, that, okay, this person does have BPD, this person does have problems. She's a little fucking crazy. And I don't know. The second time I saw that shit come up and her ignoring me the second time like that and then snapping at me the same way the second time. But for some shit that I didn't even start. The first time I was like, okay, because I had an emotional response. I had an emotional little outburst text. And she got fucking pissed at me. But I didn't know what was going on. The second time, I knew what was going on. But it wasn't, I mean, at least from my perspective, me offering to buy you food isn't a big deal. To her it was. So me getting a little bit offended, a little bit upset, and then letting it go 20 minutes later, I think it's a bit of a normal guy response. I don't know. I'm not a normal dude. I got my own mental problems. I got my own shit I'm working out. But the way she snapped at me the next day, after ignoring me that whole day, it was too disrespectful of a thing for me to want to have to put up with for the rest of my life with her. So I told myself, let me cut this shit off before it gets worse. I need someone better in my life. I don't need someone that's going to drag me the fuck down. And that's all she was going to do. She was going to drag me down more than push me up. You know? She wasn't going to be my rock. If anything, if I was in water, she would be my rock then. Because she would be pulling me the fuck down. So, anyway, this video is way longer than I thought it was going to be. You guys tell me if I was in the wrong, man. I really want to know. For real. I want to know if I fucked up in all this. Because I don't know, man. I'm not a smart dude. I'm a dumb dude. You know? I'm not smart. I'm like a regular dude. I just know information that most people don't know. That's it. Retaining information and actual intelligence is a very fucking different thing. So, anyway. Yeah, tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts, whoever watched the whole fucking thing. I don't expect y'all to. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for your time. I hope to see a response. Something. Because I don't know if I fucked up or not. And I want to know if I fucked up. So, there you go. Peace out.